for the things I did.
Hello, hello. How's everyone?
Good.
Hi,
How are
good. How
you?
are you?
Good, good. Hello, my name is Niger Chambers of Big Go Belt Media. Sara and Karla-Simone, it's a pleasure to talk to you today about your new series. And congratulations, because now it's available across the world now on BritBox. And that instantly takes me into my first question: is just how does it feel, especially you, Sara, the turnaround time from a novel to a series? I talk about magic here, but ultimately, how are you two feeling now that the series is released?
Yeah, such a quick turnaround time. It really does feel miraculous. Still pretty surreal. You know, this journey started with a few words on a page and me trying to figure out a character. And all I knew was that I wanted to put a Jamaican woman in Jane Austen territory and to have taken the journey from those early days to being able to see Karla-Simone's performance as Frannie on screen, and for viewers around the world now to see it on BritBox, just couldn't be more exciting.
Absolutely. And how about you, Karla-Simone?
Yeah, unreal. Dream come true. When I even got the role, it was a dream come true. So for everyone to see what we've made, the blood, sweat, and tears we put into this is, yeah, I'm very grateful.
Yeah. Listen, Sarah, from we talked about it in a high level, but as you said, you pen on paper and you write a novel, successful, and but 2009, 19, 20, 24, and you got a series now. Was this
Yeah.
always the plan?
No, maybe I should say it was, so that I'm going to look like some kind of prophet. It wasn't. In fact, tell you a secret, I never used to be a fan of adaptations. I was always that person that would say, nah, the book was way better than the film. So I kind of had to be persuaded, but I was amazed at how quickly this was gobbled up. As soon as we sent the novel out to publishers, we also had lots of interest from TV producers here in the UK, and then from actually having the novel option to being commissioned to make it into a series, it just seemed to happen so quickly. I think that's a testament to how ready people are for this story. It's a new story. It's a new take on the period. We're really trying to open the door to a kind of aspect of British history that people try to sweep under the rug and turn a blind eye to. And we're really trying to put a Black woman on screen in a context that people haven't seen her before. And she's so intelligent and passionate and complicated. I think that's what drew people to it. But I'm just grateful that we got this series made at all, let alone so quickly.
Yeah, it's truly it's magical. I can't, there's probably a lot of other words I can say, but I just couldn't believe the turnaround time when I saw that. Um
You and
and,
me
and,
too.
and Carlos Simone, believe it or not, I'm familiar with you because I recently had watched the film Blue Story,
Okay.
and I was interested in that. I was looking at other work that Kofi Abrifa had
Oh,
done, and I was like, okay. So when I started watching, I was like, wait, I know this face, and I was for the longest just like, where, and I was like, and now I have to say, I'm very confident saying this is your breakout role. Uh, what a ride, and what a telling story, what an array of emotions here. I think my very most important question for you, this story, and why it's a job, and why you're a professional, this I felt like this performance establishes a platform for you, because you can see by your character and Frannie just the important messages about the suppression of women, as Sarah said, the suppression of British history, and how inclusive this is, that other folks are going to be looking to, one, tell their story, and two, have somebody just as passionate as you are behind it to be that vessel for it. What did you, when the filming was done and you were sitting in that room, whether you by yourself or with company or whatever, what was just the mental thoughts throughout all of this, through this journey for you?
Well, after completing it, I was like, I did it. I got through it, and like you always believe in yourself and you always want to prove what you can do as an actor, but you never really know if you can do it unless you do it. And it was my first time leading a series and first time being in a period drama, first time doing a Jamaican accent. So yeah, it was a huge task to take on, but yeah, I just felt really proud that I was able to get through it and enjoy it and feel like I really tapped into the essence of Frannie and really tried to portray her in a truthful way. Yeah, just an incredible opportunity for me, definitely.
Yeah, whether you're British or whether you're American, or whether you're an Indian nationality with African descent, history is always, for lack of better words, emotional. And this question is for the two of you too. When entering a world, I mean, telling the story, whether you're passionate about it or whether this is a new discovery, like for myself, what was the moments of decompression or detaching from the story like for you to kind of process everything? Because there's moments of this where I be honest, I had to pause. I'd say like this is feeling, it's feeling too real, and and whether you're playing these characters, you're writing these stories, but I would love to kind of know like what did you all do to kind of process and sort of detach from these characters in the story?
For me, when you're playing someone for 3 months every day, it is hard to detach. They don't really leave you. To be honest, she stayed with me the whole time, and even after, you kind of have to get that character out of your head because it's the only voice you hear. It's hard to even look at other scripts because you're kind of like, you're not really in that headspace. But to kind of like unwind from like the physical stresses of it, because you know your body, like you go through some intense emotions and you know yourself that it's not you that's going through all this, you know, heartbreak and all that stuff, but your body doesn't. So you have to kind of like self-care, like take baths, have a dance. What I like to do, I like to dance and have a bit of fun and shake off the kind of sadness. But yeah, those kind of characters as an actor, it's hard to shake. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. For me, luckily, while I was writing the novel, Kendrick Lamar had an album out. And so I lost myself in some Kendrick. Is really important to decompress, but I remember, because some of this material is so hard, you're right, I'm going to remember this phrase, our history is emotional. And I remember when I was writing the novel, I came across an interview of the great Toni Morrison, who was asked, you know, how she had dealt with this when she wrote Beloved. And she said that she reminded herself that if people had to live through it, she could write about it. And I kind of had that as a mantra when I was, in particular, when I was engaging with the really difficult material. For me, the real catharsis came in writing, actually. With all sincerity, I believe that writing is an act of service to those of our ancestors who went through this painful history, that in recording their stories or imagining their stories or giving them full humanity, including what this is, which is a love story and a story of adventure and romance, that we are paying tribute to them in some way. And I found that very cathartic as well, I have to say.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. And thank you too, again, for the work and the vulnerability in this interview as well too, being able to share these things, because again, even as a viewer, and you had to do this for months and months, it just was it was an important story, but yet it was definitely a challenge at times just to kind of process it, because you know we just want to see humanity move forward. There was parts of this I'm like, this is still happening, this is literally still happening, and it's a very it's just a hard reality to grasp. I think for my final question here, is there more story to be told?
More of Frannie's story, or do you mean generally?
Well, I know your pen is definitely on pad right now. but is there more story to be told? It's such a beautiful story, especially from the inclusiveness and seeing this queer relationship being represented the way it is, and typically with romance, you know, we always like to allude to like love wins, you know, and that seems to be what I feel in terms of the conclusion, but I still feel like there's more potentially there. And whether you're going to write it or not, is it fair for the audience to allow itself to explore that there's more story to be told?
I think good stories always end in a way that leaves the audience finishing it in their own heads. You know, a good story should really stay with you. You should be thinking about it. You should be thinking about what happens to the characters after the final frame.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, I hope Frannie has eternal life as a story. I definitely think there are more stories like this to be told, you know, the inclusivity, the representation, the grappling with these questions in history that we've been told to ignore, or that we've been deliberately kept, had information withheld about. Really important that we use the power of storytelling to put that stuff on the page and on the screen.
Agreed. Karla-Simone, to kind of rephrase that question for you, did you think that Frannie had more to tell? That look back at the end, and it's available now, so I'm not going to spoil it, but that look back at the end, I thought was kind of metaphorical in a sense. But do you feel that she has more she wants to say?
Absolutely, yeah. That's why she wrote her Confessions, because she wants everyone to know her story. And in an ideal world, Frannie would be a published author, and she'd be writing loads of stories for people to read. And yeah, she has so much more to give.
That's right. Well, I'll just say it right now. We need to see you two teaming up again very, very soon. So keep in touch, please.
I hope so.
Oh, I'm already thinking of projects I could write for Karla.
I love it. And hopefully we get to see more British television, rather series and films on American soil. So this was definitely a refreshing series for us to be able to consume, and now it's available across the world. And hopefully we get to talk again about your next projects very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You know, Sara, she'll have it ready tomorrow. She's like, yeah, you brought it up and it's ready to go.
Thanks for the inspiration, man.
But thank you so much for your time. And yeah, I hope we get to talk again very soon.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.